Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Intan Zulaika. So today I will present about consumer credit. What is consumer credit? Consumer credit or consumer debt management can be defined as the way of controlling money because credit needs to be paid. Consumers achieve our financial goals, but at the same time, if it's not carefully planned, it can also ruin us financially. The creditors will look at our debt or income ratio to determine our financial status before offering credits. The percentage of ratio should not exceed 30%. So by using the debt service ratio or DSR, they will know our financial status where it will compare the monthly income to fixed housing loan, credit card, and also car loan. So the other types of consumer credits are loan. Loans are larger in amounts and have longer repayment period. The contract are formal, negotiated contract and is usually one-off or lump sum. There are three types of loan, which is personal loan, car loan, and also education loan. The eligibility to get this loan is the borrower must draw a fixed monthly salary for the past 6 months from the current job. The purpose for this loan is usually for the personal purpose, and the amount for this loan amounted from 5,000 ringgit depending on the amount of salary. The approval can come as early as 48 hours and without collateral. Next is car loan. Car loan is taken by the borrowers to finance the purchase of new or used car, where it is secured by the car purchase and also known as the hire purchase agreement. The hirer or the loan borrower has the possession of the goods and has the options to buy the goods. Meanwhile, the ownership of the goods remains with the owner, for example bank, until the loan is fully paid. Lastly is education loan. This type of loan helps to finance up to the full cost of education, where it covers the tuition fees, purchases of books, personal computers, hostel and living expenses. It can be considered as the most important investment one makes in life. So one of the important regulations need to be fulfilled is that the student must be 18 years old or above. The minimum amount for this loan is 10,000 ringgit and maximum is 100,000 ringgit. So PIN is one of the organizations that focus on giving education loans to students who fulfill the requirements for the application.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Shafira binti Mamat. Next, we proceed with the consumer credit. Consumer credit is necessary since an individual has a limited amount of money as a resource to purchase. Credit enables us to expand our immediate consumption by increasing our purchasing power. Consumer credit is a power to buy or borrow on trust. This is because we buy or borrow first and make the payment later. Consumer credit or consumer debt management can be defined as the way of controlling money because credit needs to be paid. This helps to manage the debt by choosing a lower payment of principal and a lower interest. In order to prioritize our financial goals, there are several steps need to be taken. Firstly, we need to create an emergency fund as a reserve fund that will help us to pay for unexpected expenses in order to not to use a credit card. Then we have to pay off all our debt totally except the mortgage. And lastly, build up an emergency fund with 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses for unexpected problems such as a medical emergency or loss of a job. Next, I will explain about Open Account Credit. Open Account Credit is a credit facility offered by retailers or financial institutions which allow the customer to borrow up a predetermined amount to pay for purchases. The customers enjoy the convenience of not having to carry cash. The credit remains available as long as the customers do not exceed the credit ceiling and make a prompt payment. There are 4 types of open account credit. Firstly, credit card. Credit card allows people to buy goods and services on credit. It has limit on the amount to be used depending on the type of visa and MasterCard they have. Next, charge card. It is similar to credit card, but the amount has to be paid fully every month. Full payment must be made within 10 to 12 days after the billing dates. Last but not least, retail charge card. It offered by department stores and petrol stations to encourage customers to purchase goods from their store. Customers will spend first and are billed later, where they need to make full payment within 10 to 20 days. Lastly, revolving credit lines or overdraft, whereas current account holder must get approval from the bank in order to overdraw their account. Bank will notify them the credit limit that they are allowed to have.
Hi, my name is Anila binti Hashim. Today I'm going to talk about investment planning. What is investment planning? Investment planning is a commitment of current resources or money with the expectation of receiving larger amount of resources in the future. There are 7 types of investment. Firstly, investment in saving accounts. There are 3 types in saving accounts, which is individual saving accounts, joint saving accounts, and a saving account for club society. Second, we have investment in fixed deposit, which can be opened by individual aged 18 years old and above. Second, joint individuals, societies, and company. The third one is investment in share, such as blue chip shares, growth share, income share. The fourth one, we have investment in bonds, which is MGS, CII, PGS, secured bonds, unsecured bonds, and etc. Next, we have investment in real properties, such as shop houses, residential houses, condominiums, flats, and standing lots in a shopping or office complex. The second last is investment in unit trust. Unit trust is established by a trustee, agreed between an investor, which is client or unit holder, a fund manager, and a trustee. Last one, we have cooperative and lembaga urusan teknologi. Cooperative is an organization formed and owned by a group of individuals for the purpose of improving standard of living and enjoying the social services such as bank rakyat. Lembaga Urusan Tabung Haji was set up by government to promote and coordinate activities for Muslim going for Haji. So, what are the benefits of investment? Firstly, we can help to stay ahead of inflation. Second, we can help to building wealth for future circumstances. And third, it can help us to meet other financial goals. So lastly, what are the steps needs to be taken to invest? Firstly, we must know why we want to invest, because it is either investment will fulfill our needs and the financial goals and objectives. Second, we must know the key issues to consider when investing, such as how much money needed for medium-term investing, and also we need to understanding the products of investment, and of course there are risks that we need to take in, and what are the expected return, and also flexibility of investment. The third one is we must know which investment are appropriate, and we also need to know which investments and how it works. Last but not least, we must know the concept of investing. It is diversification, time value of money, impact of inflation and taxes, and maximizing returns. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. Now I will explain about estate planning. What is about estate planning? Estate planning is the preparation of tasks that serve to manage an individual's asset based in the event of their anticipation or death. There are two types of estate, which is testate and intestate. Testate means the descendant deceased person's left a will which disposed of his or her property, while for intestate means the descendant did not leave a will and the probate courts will determine the distribution of his or her property to heirs according to a priority statute. Then next, the objective of estate planning is the first one is transfer of asset to beneficiaries. They may be members of their families, friends, and other individuals. Estate planning will ensure that individuals' needs are met either during their lifetime or after their death. Second is lower tax payment. The transfer of maximum capital and the payment of the minimum taxes are one of the most significant objectives of estate planning. And the third one is proper succession plan. As a part of financial planning, estate planning involves writing a will. This helps to determine an individual's asset disposal cum succession plan after his or her death. The importance of estate planning is the first one is provide financial support for children, spouse, and grandchildren. Second, ensure the asset go to persons according to our wishes. And the third, to avoid asset from being frozen. There are many examples of estate planning, such as house, land, saving account and current account in commercial bank, tabung haji, KWSP, insurance, shares, whether listed or non-listed. There are 3 steps of the procedure in developing sound estate plan. The first step is ascertain how much asset our own. Itemize all assets such as financial asset, liquid asset, real properties, and personal properties. Determine the proportion of ownership in each asset. The second step is determine how you want to estate distributed. List all individual beneficiaries who you like to transfer asset upon death. Decide what proportion of your wealth you wish to allocate to each beneficiary, for example, to wife, son, or daughter. Step number 3 is distribute our asset either during living time or death. 2 ways to distribute our asset while we are still living. Which the first is direct gift and the second is set up a trust to distribute asset to beneficiaries. Then for Islamic estate planning, divide by 2, which is will or wasiat and faraid. What is will? Will is a document where the person states his intention as to how his estate is to be administered and distributed after his death or who is to administer it. Why will is important? This is because it is effective way to declaring our personal liabilities or somebody else's right to our assets, to avoid family disputes, and also to protect and allocate the asset. Then the benefits of writing will is the first, avoid family disputes, ensure the right distribution of assets, and declaring personal liabilities. Last is about faraid. What is faraid? Faraid is a section of Islamic law that deals with the distribution of an estate of a deceased person among his heirs in accordance with Allah's decree in Holy Quran and Hadith. The order of sequence of rights on the estate is the first is to pay for his or her funeral expenses, to settle all of his debt, to fellow beings, and the last to execute his or her will. And last, the causes of the inheritance under Faraid is nikah, which is a valid marriage contract in Islam. Wala, relationship or bondage, where the cause for the inheritance of emancipator to the estate of the emancipated person. And the last, nasab, relationship through the blood, for example, parents and siblings. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Jet planes in the night sky with you.